Welcome, everyone. My name is Sara Thornhill. This is Sleep Strategies for Anxiety. We know that anxiety is literally a killer. Stress is a killer. In fact, most of the problems that people go to doctors for are rooted in stress. And when stress is ignored, it becomes anxiety. So, a lot of times that can affect our sleep. And we're going to go through some of the truths behind why you wake up at 3 a.m., as well as some real solutions, some pocket sized techniques to regulate your nervous system. And I'm so glad that you're here because, whether you're struggling to fall asleep when you first tried to go to sleep or doing that 3 a.m. wake up in the middle of the night, or, a lot of people just feel really, really tired and then they brush their teeth and do all the nighttime things and then find that instead of being tired, they're wired. And I just want you to know you're not broken. And there are some really simple strategies that we can utilize in order to make you feel like you are more rested and to get better sleep. The truth of the matter is that paradoxically, your body's actually trying to protect you. I know that sounds weird, but essentially, you're likely in a state of fight or flight, or have been in a chronic state of fight or flight for the entire day, or the week, or maybe even several years. So, in this workshop, I'm going to teach you the framework and some simple strategies. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do all these things today in the workshop, but I'm going to teach you a framework in order to gently retrain your system. This is going to help you be able to rest instead of resist. So, right now, I just want you to tap into the body. You'll probably remember that you've heard me say that there are 3 tools for resilience: body, breath, mind, in that order. So, I invite you to start with that very first tool of body and really just do a body scan right now. Tap in. How do you feel? And really arrive in this space. Maybe you're listening to the replay and doing something else. Maybe you're multitasking here while you're live, but I invite you to really drop into your body right now and literally feel where you're being supported, because you are supporting yourself just by participating, by being here live or watching the replay. So see if you can just get maybe 10% more comfortable in the body. And let's take some slow inhales into the nose and long exhales out the mouth. On your own, slowly inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth just a few times. It's really important to not make a practice of inhaling into the nose and out the mouth on a regular basis, because when we do that, it changes the oxygen and carbon dioxide differential in the body, and it could get you high, essentially. If you ever notice that when you're talking, you might get out of breath or kind of lightheaded, that's kind of what's happening. So it's always best to breathe in and out of the nose, especially when you're sleeping. Some people use mouth tape. You can use gentle tape that's meant for the body, like physio tape. And they have other machines, but it's a really simple way to actually keep your mouth closed, because you'll get better sleep and you'll wake up feeling more refreshed. Nighttime anxiety is often misunderstood. A lot of people think it's your thoughts. It's bad thoughts, it's stressful thoughts, but it's really a combination of things. It's number one, a dysregulated nervous system that started way before you tried to go to sleep. It's a habit loop that's causing alertness at the wrong time. So it's basically a circadian rhythm that's off. And it's also unprocessed stress and emotions that have been stored in the body, most likely since childhood. So you're not overreacting. It's just that you're overstimulated. And there are some really simple ways to fix this. So let's just do a mini practice right now with your eyes open, or if you're in a safe place and you're not driving, you can go ahead and close the eyes. And just like we started with that embodiment, do a scan from your toes to your head, or maybe from your head to your toes. It's your choice, it's your practice. And just tap in, feel into your skin, underneath your skin, your bones, your muscles, and just try to get a neutral scan. This is a really great mini practice that you can do right when you lay down, is actually feel into the weight of your body and do that slow head to toe or toe to head body scan, just to get into a neutral place of your body and a neutral place of mind. And if when you're doing that body scan, you notice that there's an area where maybe there's extra energy or a little bit of extra tension, there's no need to change it. You can just observe it. And you can bring vital oxygen to that area by inhaling in and out of the nose and focusing on that area with love. You may have heard me say before that pain is love. I know that sounds weird. Pain is love. They're both four-letter words, and most people are so frustrated with pain and they want more love. But people who are low tone or who can't feel pain or can't feel much pain typically die very quickly. Pain is a signal from our body that's saying, excuse me, I need attention here. I need extra love, extra oxygen. So every time you feel pain, you can say, thank you. Thank you for showing me where to look. Thank you for showing me where I need to be extra careful. So any areas of discomfort, you can, once you lay down or even right now, just breathe in and out of the nose to bring more vital oxygen to that area. Oxygen is our most vital nutrient. We can survive for a few weeks without food and a few days without water, but only a few precious minutes without our breath. Our breath is our life force. So we can use the breath, harness the breath to go from overthinking to unwinding. You see, sleep doesn't come from the mind. It comes from safety in the body. So when we shift into the body, the mind will follow. We won't be able to do this right now, but before bed, you can actually go to a wall in your bedroom with all of the lights down low, and you can slide your hip up to the side of the wall. Of course, you want it to be a wall with no wall hangings or art on it, and just flip your legs so that they go up the wall. This is basically a really gentle downward facing dog. I'm sure you've heard of down dogs in yoga. This is a great way to reverse the blood flow in your body. I mean, all day long, if we're standing or sitting, all the blood is rushing to our feet. So this is a really great way to actually relax the spine gently and drain all that blood flow away from the feet. And it doesn't require any effort at all. Of course, this is the body. And then we switch into harnessing the breath. So you'll want to use a really simple measured breath like you've seen on other workshops that I've done, of maybe 4 counts in, 4 counts out, or if that's too much, 3 counts in, 3 counts out. If you really want to prep yourself for sleep, then you'll want to go in for half of the time that you go out. So, for example, 4 counts in, 8 counts out. Everything in and out of the nose. The nose is lined with cells that produce nitric oxide. And when we extend the exhale, it's going to naturally activate your parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest instead of that fight or flight. Like if we were to inhale for 6 and exhale for 3, that's going to activate sympathetic nervous system and get us revved up. So again, legs up the wall, be in the body, harness the breath, and watch the mind with curiosity. If you need to give the mind something to do, you can just focus on the pure sensation of the belly rising and falling with your breath and allow gravity to do the work. So this is a fantastic practice just called legs up the wall that you can do before you get into bed. Once you're actually in bed, you can do a 4-part tension release because we store stress in our muscles. And when we actually get into the muscles and relax the tension, we can soften the memories there and actually prepare ourselves for sleep better. So basically, you inhale and you tense your feet and your legs. That's part 1. And exhale out the nose, release. And then you're going to repeat. Go to the glutes and the belly. Inhale and squeeze your glutes in your belly. Exhale, release. That's part 2. Move up to the shoulders and neck. We hold a lot of tension here. So you're going to inhale into your shoulders. If it feels okay, you can even scrunch the shoulders up to the ears, only if that's palatable. Inhale and exhale out the nose and release. And the last one, and you want to be really tender with the jaw. You can go into jaw and couple that with the hands because they are so connected, right? So you can inhale and squeeze, maybe even add in the feet if you want to engage that again, and exhale out the nose, release. So this is a 4-part tense and release that's combining the body and the breath. And it gives the mind something to do, something to control. A lot of times these thoughts, these downward spiraling thoughts, these worries are about things that we can't control. Things that have happened that we're processing from the day, from the week, maybe somebody that we're concerned about. There's a death in the family or somebody that's injured themselves or sick. And us worrying and missing out on sleep is not going to help them. So it's good to focus on the 2 things that we can control, which are our thoughts and our actions. And by thinking about our body, thinking about our breath, and engaging the body and the breath in a very succinct action, we're allowing ourselves to release, to relax, and to slow down by giving our brain something concrete to do. So we've talked a lot about body techniques and breath techniques. Let's talk about what's actually going on in the mind. There are lots of different ways that I personally help clients specifically according to what they need with some sort of a very specific tool. But let me give you some general ones. You can, if you're very visual, which most people are, you can, in your mind's eye, lovingly box up all those worries that we alluded to and put them away somewhere else in your brain. And just tell yourself, I will think about this tomorrow. You might say, I'll worry about this tomorrow. We don't want you to worry about it because worrying doesn't help at all. Being excited and being nervous are actually the same emotion. It's just that one is looking ahead, expecting positive results, and the other one is looking ahead, expecting negative results. We want to be excited instead of worried. But if you can lovingly box them up and put them somewhere in your energetic mind or in a pocket and just promise yourself, I'll think about that later. This might help. Because picking up the phone and starting to text somebody or scroll or reach out to somebody isn't going to help. And we know, I'm sure you've heard before, that UV light from the screen is not good. So you notice we're not even worrying about that. I'm sure you've heard that before. Turn off all the screens a few hours before bed if you're having trouble, because it's like sunlight in our eyes and it's disrupting our circadian rhythm, not to mention the EMFs. But I want to give you some tricks that will actually be a little bit different. So obviously, you can just say to yourself something very simple like, we are safe now. I am safe now. You are safe now. Notice I said that in 3 different person tenses. Why? Well, our subconscious mind or our thinking mind oftentimes doesn't always think in I. Sometimes it says, why can't we get it together? Or you always do that. That little itty bitty shitty committee, which we know is actually the itty bitty kitty committee, KID. But that little itty bitty shitty committee can be firing off little insults to ourselves all day long. And so we can just say something like, I am safe now. You are safe now. We are safe now. And we can connect that with our body and our breath. You might even get a little bit more granular and say, like, we're not worrying, we're not fixing, we're not scrolling. I'm not worrying, I'm not fixing, I'm not scrolling. You're not worrying, you're not fixing, you're not scrolling. We're relaxing. You're relaxing. I'm relaxing. I'm in control now. Choose some phraseology that works for you. Again, when I work with personal clients, we talk about what are the disempowering thoughts and how can we reframe that so it'll actually be an empowering phrase that you can use on your own. So you might even pause this video now and think about some positive things that you can choose to say to yourself as you're doing these body, breath, and mind relaxations. Of course, it's really good to have some sort of a consistent routine that will let your brain, your body know that you're ready for bed. So if you every 6 weeks decide to have 16 cookies before bed, that might be something you don't want to do. Or if you every night have sugar before bed, it's no wonder that you're having trouble sleeping. You definitely want to have a very specific wind down routine that's very portable so that if you're traveling in a hotel or at a friend's house, you can still do this wind down routine like we described here. A really simple thing that I love to do is right before you lay down, you can sit on the edge of the bed and put your feet on the floor and just name 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things that went well today, 3 people you're grateful for. Because those precious moments right before sleep prime us for the next day. It's a really supple time of the day. And of course, you can use breath work. Now, breath work does not have to be work. You are worthy of your breath. You're worthy of your time. So you can simply inhale into the nose and extend the exhale and hum or sigh out of the nose. This is a simple practice that vibrates the body. It vibrates our nasal passages and increases the amount of nitric oxide. That's a naturally calming element when you're in the hospital, they might give you nitric oxide to calm you down. Of course, a lot more than we would produce, but just that is a nice nervous system reset. Sometimes when I'm driving, or if I find that I'm really keyed up washing dishes or something like that, I'll just start just to calm myself down. If maybe I've had too much caffeine that day, or I'm about to go into a meeting where I'm really wanting a certain outcome, I might calm myself down just by choosing a number, 5, 15, or even 3 simple breaths into the nose and exhaling out of the nose with that gentle sigh. And a really great way to prepare for sleep is sleep rehearsal. Now, this isn't a dress rehearsal like you're preparing for a big performance, because sleep is not a performance. But when we rehearse what's going to happen, this can be a really magical practice. I have a client who was a very early client who I made a custom meditation for. They were having trouble sleeping, a lot of stress in their lives. So I made them a custom meditation for during the day, during their break at work, and then a 15-minute meditation to listen to at night using some of the same terminology. And they somehow misplaced it. And they called me a year and a half later and they're like, I need to come back to you. I want another one of those because it helped me so much and I can't find it anywhere. I got a new phone or something. So you can use a really simple guided visualization just to train your body to respond differently. And you can think about it during your waking time, like right now. And you can also use a guided visualization or some sort of thing that you listen to right before bed. So let's try it for a few minutes today. I invite you to get comfortable. Maybe you're sitting up. Maybe you want to rest your back against something. Maybe you're already in bed and you're having trouble sleeping and you're watching this replay because you knew that it was there. Go ahead and make yourself comfortable. And from this space, no matter where you are, just imagine yourself already in bed. Settle in. Feel the gravity. You notice that the temperature in the room is the perfect temperature, exactly the way that you like it, the perfect amount of cool and cozy warmth. You have your favorite textures all around you. Maybe a sound machine. Maybe you can hear the cicadas outside your window. And you've got the perfect level of darkness, that perfect level of comfort. Begin with noticing your body and feeling into every nook and cranny. Breathing into any areas of discomfort. And notice that every time you inhale into the nose, it brings more softness. And every time you exhale out the nose, you're able to release more tension. So just be in the body and harness the breath in this very particular way that serves you. Know that you're not chasing sleep, you're allowing it. And from this space right now, make a decision as to which of the practices that we went over today you're going to invite so that you can choose rest instead of resisting. See yourself in your mind's eye as a witness, as a third person. and see yourself harnessing these practices for yourself, whether that's legs up the wall before you get in bed, the seated and feet grounded gratitude practice before you lay down, the simple body scan and breathing into any areas of tension, the choice to perhaps breathe into those 4 parts and tense them and then release them. Remembering to breathe in and out of the nose and maybe even vibrating with a simple hum. Remember, anxiety at night is not because of the thoughts. It's a combination of a generally dysregulated nervous system, as well as things that have cued you in the past to be alert instead of rested. And it really stems from unprocessed emotional trauma and stress in the body. And we can fix this overstimulation. You are the medicine. You can notice where the energy is pooling and bring your breath there. You can focus your mind on the body and the breath. You can say gentle things to yourself like, I'm safe now. You're safe now. We're safe now. We are relaxing. I am relaxing. You are relaxing. And you can intentionally do a guided visualization of exactly what your mind, body, brain, breath is going to do when you get in bed. I do want to leave you with one important thought. Just because you come to this workshop or watch the replay and try it one time, if it doesn't work exactly as you want, that doesn't mean you've failed. That doesn't mean these practices won't work. If you have spent a lifetime ignoring your stress and anxiety, one workshop and one time of trying isn't going to solve it all. When we have disempowering beliefs, when we're not aware of and not meeting our needs, it's going to cause ripple effects in our lives. Panic attacks, inability to breathe, fogginess in the brain, inability to sleep or stay asleep. However, we can retrain our nervous systems. It just requires a little bit of attention and a little bit of patience. So if you want to learn more, we are going to do another one of these specific to the 3 a.m. workshop. The 3 a.m. wake up. We're going to really focus on that and give you some very specific subconscious reprogramming tools. And so if you're interested in that, just let us know. And if you're interested in working together, we have some openings sometimes for coaching slots to be able to actually rewire some of what the itty bitty shitty committee is saying and doing and wreaking havoc in our lives. So you can find more information on my website, sarathornhill.com. And just keep up with Pranatova. We're active on Instagram as well as YouTube and Facebook. And at this point, we'll open it up for questions.